The Western description of fashion trends, categories, and statements take us slightly away from the rich roots of Asian textile and clothing traditions and history. Over time, some outstanding amalgamations and hybrids have enriched textile craftsmanship both in India and the countries of ASEAN. Two examples are being commented on: the weaving village of Lung Tham in Vietnam and the Fulia Tangail of West Bengal, India. Lungtham village of colorfully attired Hmong people is dedicated to weaving and the fabrication of linen products. The village is nestled between rocky peaks that is covered by misty clouds all the year round. This is the residence of the ethnic Hmong people who are famous for linen weaving, indigo dyeing with batik technique. Traditionally, each Hmong woman has separate pieces of land for flax cultivation. It takes just over 2 months for harvesting, and then the woman cut and dries this flax for textile processing. The main source of employment in Lung Tham is a cooperative founded to compete with cheaper products flowing in from China. Today, every single household in Lung Tham is somehow involved in making linen. At the very least, every woman in Lung Tham is obligated to make at least 2 dresses during her life, one for a wedding and another for a funeral. These significant dresses can take up to 3 months apiece. Indeed, to produce a product is not easy. It takes over 21 stages to complete the full process. The products proudly offered include bags, shirts, and tablecloths with beautiful designs and colors. Knockoff Chinese products might be cheaper, but they just can't compete with the authentic handmade items in terms of quality from the weaving village of Lung Tham. Turning to India, Fulia is famous for its Tangail saris, similar to the Dhakai Jamdani in technique, but softer in feel, with the motifs spaced out. The Fulia Tangail is woven in silk as well as cotton. Fulia, ladies and gentlemen, is a small town in West Bengal's Nodia district. The flowy drapes of cottons and linens from Fulia and the neighboring towns of Shantipur and Begumpur have taken the market by storm. They are famous for Tangail saris, and Fulia weavers have developed their own version of the Dhakai called Tangail Jamdani on the Pallu. The early weavers here were refugees from East Pakistan who crossed over after partition in 1947. Others came from Bangladesh after the 1971 war and traced their lineage to the Tangail weavers near Dhaka. There are 3 kinds of weavers in Fulia: the independents, those who are part of a cooperative, and those who work for moneylenders. Most of the weavers are disenchanted, overworked, and underpaid. Sari prices range from a few hundred rupees from the plain matha, which is a pure cotton weave with the simplest of motifs, to thousands of rupees for jamdanis in fine silk. For a sari that sells for rupees 600, the raw material cost is rupees 200 to 250. The weaver gets only rupees 200, and the rest goes to the seller. A weaver produces around 5 saris a week, working 10 to 12 hours a day. Depending upon the intricacy of the design, he earns just rupees 100 to 400 per sari. Jamdani, ladies and gentlemen, has been declared an intangible cultural heritage of humanity by UNESCO. The excellence in weaving has its base in the social, religious, and natural environment and is translated through particular techniques and weaver's skill. The Begumpur sari has bewitched wearers with its bright colors and tribal embroidery on the pallu, and rendered entirely by hand. It was revived only recently thanks to measures taken by the government-appointed Weavers Service Center in Kolkata. Today, the average monthly income of a weaver has gone up by about rupees 7,000 to rupees 10,000 because of the focus of design development, weaving techniques, dyeing and printing, interventions, as well as WSC's branding and marketing advice. And all this was possible with the government sanction of just rupees 5 million. Power looms definitely pose a problem, especially those run in neighboring Ranaghat, Nabuddip, and Shantipur. Each loom produces around 10 saris daily. Their production costs are lower, and therefore their retail price. It It is tough even for the trained eye to differentiate between handloom and powerloom, and the market is flooded with powerloom fabrics parading as handloom. Fulia and the neighboring areas are actually witnessing a handloom renaissance now because of the right encouragement, support, and marketing inputs. We now take you to high street fashion. The term high street fashion is used on a day-to-day basis everywhere around. To break it down, a high street is the main street in a town or city where all the banks and shops are situated. High street fashion then refers to the clothing you can buy on the high street in ordinary towns and cities. The high street was actually born in the Victorian age in the 1860s and 70s. Market stalls became shops with fixed prices due to the fact that people struggled to grow food themselves as a result of urbanization. At first, high street shopping referred to buying food and necessities. Soon later, clothing was introduced. After that, high street shopping continued to gain in popularity. It was in the golden era of high street shopping and in Edwardian times when the empire became more affluent. Product choice and customer service grew higher in quality, and the suffragette women needed somewhere to go that was considered respectable, hence the initiation of tea shops and department stores. Nowadays, the most popular high street stores for women are ones that replicate designs from the runway at the most affordable prices. Some of these stores mass-produce fast fashion according to the latest trends and fads. High street stores primarily takes inspiration from designer catwalks. Globally, the fashion ecosystem has moved towards minimalism, and a lot of dark colors and pastels have been introduced. The return of the 90s trend is also a big hit now. We see that in the way people are dressing on the streets. From Bangkok's seemingly effortless blend of vintage and modern to Seoul's layered sleek chic with a daring twist, their diverse results reveal an irresistible quality that unites Asian fashion as a whole, which is the refusal to conform to a uniform and conservative form of dress. There is startling originality to be found across the vast continents. Just as Cambodians have a talent for absorbing many influences and expressing them in new ways, so the rest of Asia appears to be channeling an energy and drive for creative freedom, making bold fashion statements that shout innovation and individuality. High street shopping shows no sign of stopping or even slowing down. There is tough competition in the form of online shopping, as a lot of women are choosing this option above physically visiting stores due to their hectic work schedules and busy lifestyles. Women enjoy the act of taking time out of their day to go shopping. It's an enjoyable hobby, and they like being able to see, touch, and try on their clothing before they buy. This is also true when it comes to high street fashion. As long as their favorite stores continue to stock the latest trends at the lowest prices, women will continue to visit them and buy. As history has proven, as long as there is demand, the high street will continue to deliver. High street fashion shops and displays reflect the popularity of hosiery items throughout the towns and cities of India, many times openly displayed on horizontal wires and strings, as well as string charpoys and tables. Ladies and gentlemen, we move to the choreographic session of high street fashion. You'll hear beautiful music, stringed instruments from ASEAN with drums of India. Over to high street fashion.